citizens of the Reject Nation. We are here to watch The Mandalorian episode Dose today. Of course, joined by John. John, how are John?
John is John, and this is the John.
Michael, how is Michael?
I'm Michael.
Yes, he is. I love Lamp, guys. Follow MJ Tesler on Instagram and Twitter today. Thank you so much for being here. Our Star Wars aficionado, as we call him around these parts of the Reject Nation.
Expert I am.
You got to work on that a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, leave a like for Michael. Use the Force to leave a like, subscribe, and click that notification bell because we are obviously covering this weekly. And full-length reaction watch-alongs, we sync up with your own copy of The Mandalorian, available for super sexy rejects at our Patreon page. Thank you to all who have joined so far. Your support is astronomical. And also,
I'm Michael.
Yes, you are. This video is not sponsored by them. I always got one in my hand. So if you guys want to get yourself some G Fuel today, 20% off promo code Reject Nation. I drink these religiously. It's a part of my religion. Get it? Get it?
This is the way.
G Fuel is a part of my religion.
You removed the can from your hand. You are exiled from the Fuel DeLoreans.
You must go to the mines
of G Fuel.
Bathe in the caffeinated
I love
water.
it here. This is Tatooine. This is Tatooine. Han shot first.
Fine, I'll push it back out in the street. You heard him. Pit droids?
Drive a hard bargain, Pelli Motto.
Let's say 2 months. Right, settle your snout. I'll put a rush on it. I do have a life. Big holiday. I have big plans.
He's never even been to space.
It's the anniversary of the Death Star.
Hey, tell the Jawas the Rodian left.
Or Life Day.
Let's get this thing back together again. Quickly, before he sees you. Put those cards back on the speeder. Paint them so they look different. Here you go.
We're a mechanic in LA.
So, where's my guy? There he is!
What? Dang.
Who taught you how to leap like a lerman, huh?
Luke Skywalker did.
Was that his first word? I think he's talking to me. Did you hear that? He said Pelli.
No, he didn't.
I'm looking for a replacement IG memory circuit.
Oh, hey, Grandpa. They haven't made those for a while.
You want to bet?
Memory circuit.
So good.
I think you should buy this beauty here.
R5 droid?
I need a droid that can explore ahead of me and test the atmosphere. Make sure it's safe to breathe.
Okay, well,
That's
I'm
the one.
getting out of here.
you're supposed to be piloting starfighters across the galaxy and fighting tyranny.
Nope.
And because it's Bunta, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you this for half the price. Its circuitry is a little fragile.
I thought you said it was built for adventure.
What? Sorry, I can't hear you!
I love this second life of R5 right now.
May the force be with you!
And also with you, Pelli Motto.
All right, kid. You ready for an adventure?
They don't even know what they're celebrating.
But yeah, happy Bunta, guys.
Yeah.
The Mines of
Mandalore!
Mandalore!
Mines!
He called it a mine.
A mine!
Same.
But it was once green and beautiful, back when the songs were written.
The cosmos.
It's Mandalore, the homeworld of our people. I've never been there either. I grew up there, on that moon, Concordia.
Wow.
Nice.
That's Kalevala, where we visited Bo-Katan. A Mandalorian has to understand maps and know their way around. You'll never be lost.
I love teacher Djarin.
T-Charin.
Djarin. May the force grade on a curve.
Oh boy.
This poor R5 droid. This poor droid.
Oh boy. Choo. Wow.
Cool.
This is gorgeous.
Breathtaking.
From the surface, we won't be able to communicate with anyone out of atmosphere. Down here, We're completely cut off from the rest of the galaxy.
Don't worry, nothing bad will come of that.
Well, there's been so much buildup to going here finally.
R5, you ready? I'm gonna need you to scout ahead and analyze the atmosphere.
Nope.
Take an air sample of the ruins below.
Got this, R5.
Don't be a baby.
I don't like this.
Got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah.
All right. It's gonna disappear.
Yep.
Sheesh.
I'll go get him.
Damn, this is beautiful.
Ooh.
Don't worry, kid. I'll be right back.
Hey, Miss Lasworth.
The emotional and physical atmosphere of this place.
Yeah, right.
I love the breathing apparatus.
Sounds like Vader.
Wow.
Dude, Cousin Balin's down there somewhere.
Whoa!
Morlocks!
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, like for the time machine.
Come on, buddy. Work with it. Oh.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
God.
Damn. Are those best car weapons they have?
Probably, yeah.
Nice. Bye.
R5?
Oh, buddy.
Man, I was gonna take his helmet off again. Sorry, R5. Oh shit.
Well, at least I'm here.
Let's get you back to the ship.
No. He's so happy.
The charts were wrong.
Huh?
The atmosphere is breathable.
What else were they lying about?
Bo-Katan was right. Mandalore is not cursed.
My entire religion is wrong.
I should call her and apologize.
It's too quiet.
That's the Civic Center.
Oh, good. And then the Performing Arts Plaza is just down there.
Awesome.
Because the city was domed once upon a time.
I love this episode.
Yeah, this is so cool. So tense right now.
Sci-fi dread.
This is so frickin' cool.
Babu frickin' cool. We gonna go back there.
I know they're extinct, but I feel like we might see a
Mythosaur. Yeah. That's what I was thinking too.
It's the Balrog.
You know,
What are those? You know what those are?
I don't recognize them.
They're not dank ferrix. The dankest ferrix out here.
Oh, that's sad.
How many more are down there?
Whoa! Jesus.
Oh!
What is this?
That's
It's one of those purge droids. Oh, wait, no. Is that something different? I don't know.
Oh, damn.
There's a total eye in there.
It's a Star Wars Dalek.
Huh. Moves like a bug.
oh, that feels like a person's in there.
It's a little Krang.
Wicked. Whoa. What the hell?
What?
God, I don't like this.
It's like an intelligent xenomorph.
Yeah. It's some kind of like android, organic android thing. Ugh.
What the hell is that?
It kind of reminds me of, in the unknown regions, there's a species called the Grisk that is like the secret big bad in the beyond. Maybe they're after Beskar.
In the unknown regions. Do your thing, Grogu.
Come on, buddy. Whoa.
Yikes.
nope.
To Bo-Katan.
Whoa.
Bo-Katan.
Dude.
It's become an Amblin movie.
Yeah. It's going to be Grogu and a bunch of other little
Way
Yodas
more
on bikes.
It's like Mario Kart.
Whoa!
I want this to be a ride at Galaxy's Edge.
Disneyland. Yeah.
Damn, who directed this episode?
Oh, yeah. Forge pushing. My man.
Come on, R5. Oh, and he knew where the planet was.
Whoa.
Ah.
Oh my god, Bo-Katan's gonna show up to help.
Your Majesty,
You've been sitting on this chair for 6 months, Bo-Katan.
an unscheduled visitor.
Why does anyone respect my schedule?
Love these trailer shots.
I want to be left alone. What happened to him?
Help us, Bo-Katan. You're our only hope.
Download the astromech, find out where they were.
You know where they were.
Oh, yeah, baby. God, those Mandalorians that make a ship.
I way prefer this because I feel like in earlier seasons, Bo-Katan would have just randomly been there. Sure. Like, save the day. Ah, you got a little smile on your face.
Aw,
Happy to be home.
home sweet home. Yeah, wow.
God.
There's the dome.
Oh, we can fix it. Get Pelli Motto in here.
Jeez.
It didn't always look like this.
Yeah, I heard.
God, what face is that even? There's a lot of unprocessed trauma right there.
It's a woman's face, you judgmental prick.
Okay, kid. I'm gonna need you to guide me to him. Can you do that?
This is the parrot I didn't know I needed.
This is the way.
Now's your chance to take the dark saber, Bo-Katan.
Yeah, what's the worst that happens? Her planet gets genocided again?
I mean, if you've withstood one genocide. I love the textures on everything.
Yeah, I love the glassing of a planet, that obsidian look.
I love her hips.
Get that Star Wars hourglass going.
My family ruled it all. Now it's a tomb. Let's go.
So is Grogu controlling that now?
I think so.
Yeah, he knows how to drive now.
Oh.
You can eat one.
I know that you're frightened, but I need you to guide me to him.
Man up.
He heard you.
Take it back.
Nice.
Part of me hopes Grogu never learns to actually speak.
I feel like we're going to start seeing some words here and there.
I knew quite a few Jedi, you know. There was a time we actually got along quite well. Fought side by side.
True, true, true.
Nope.
Oh, you're good. Nicely done.
Man, oh man. Jeez. Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Did you think your dad was the only Mandalorian? Those are Alamites, and we were their next meal. If they survived, I wonder what else might have too.
Nice.
Drain you of your human oil. Is that a spit?
Could be. What are they pumping out?
Like it's blood.
Oh, jeeps.
Oh, it affects Beskar.
That one angry eye.
Shit, the dark.
Oh, there it is.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Yo! Yes.
Ooh.
Nice.
Oh, look how comfortable she is with it. Damn, man. That's awesome.
Dan, can you hear me?
Yes.
Ooh, no, yep.
I'm gonna get you out of here, right?
You gotta be flippin' kidding.
Oh no, it's gonna get the bigger body.
Behind you.
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh my god, she's so good with it.
Oh, she had it for a while.
Yeah.
Take that module and destroy it.
Give me back my dark saber.
Please. You can have my blood.
What happened?
I saved your life.
Gave you some penicillin.
You were right. Mandalore is not cursed.
Was I? Nothing to cling to but ashes.
What is this?
You've never eaten pog soup.
No.
Can you appreciate the irony? You should rest. I'll get you back to my ship soon enough.
I gotta go bathe.
I must continue to the mines of Mandalore so that I may be redeemed.
I honestly think that it's adorable that you actually believe these children's stories.
Without the Creed, what are we? Our people are scattered like stars in the galaxy. The Creed is how we survived. I can't go with you until I fulfill my obligation.
I will take you.
Wowie.
We can bathe together.
Don't thank me until you see them.
Living waters. If I was
Living
alive,
acid.
that's where I would be.
It's going to be an ayahuasca trip.
I wonder if there's anybody down there.
The Empire set out to punish us, to wipe away our memory.
It must pain you to see it like this after witnessing its beauty.
Yes, that's understatement.
Our own kind fight one another time and time again, killing each other for reasons too confusing to explain. It made us weak.
Huh.
Maybe you shouldn't have joined Death Watch then.
It's a problem with all these different sects of your religion. Can't come to an agreement.
I was part of the royal family. The rituals were all just theater for our subjects. They loved watching the princess recite the Mandalorian tenets as her father looked on proudly.
Your father sounds like an interesting man.
He died defending Mandalore.
This is the way.
Aw.
We're going to bring up your dead sister?
The living waters. I want you to get the full tour. According to ancient folklore, the mines were once a Mythosaur lair.
Yep.
It is from these legends that the skull signet was adopted and became the symbol of our planet.
Oh, man.
This is it.
Oh, we're going to see Mythosaur.
Take it all off but the helmet.
Yes. Hey, you might get your wish.
I swear on my name.
Ooh.
And the words of the Creed shall be forever forged in my heart.
Whoa, no!
Is it really? Oh, wow, he got way sucked down.
Yeah.
He's definitely bathing.
Wow, what a great shot.
is so
This is a great
neat.
shot.
Yeah.
Damn.
James Cameron did this episode?
What the shit?
His armor was just so heavy.
That's twice she's had to save him.
Man, oh man, we're not ready.
POV. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
My God.
No way.
Uh-oh.
That is insane.
The tease of the scale.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Damn it.
Who's Rachel Morrison?
I don't know.
Give her a raise.
Seriously. Have we seen her director credit before?
I
feel
don't
like this is
know.
the first
That was
time.
great.
Wow.
Yeah, that was terrific. Love the mood.
I didn't think.
We would get that.
I mean, I thought it earlier, but for some reason in the moment, I was like, oh, maybe not.
Yeah.
No, I
Shouldn't
mean-
have given up.
Well, that,
That was a great episode. That was a really, really great episode.
God.
continues to subvert expectation.
I love that they credit somebody pointed that out, they credit the stunt actors who actually do Mando now.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's those last two names there.
Who cares? They're not Pedro Pascal's voice.
He's a busy guy.
It's all about those few minutes Pedro spends in the booth.
Man.
Yeah, that was phenomenally executed. It was so well done.
Yeah.
I love the direction they're going with Bo-Katan because I can't quite tell where it is.
I
It's like,
I don't think it's what we think.
what do you mean?
I don't think that Bo-Katan.
Now anything you think is
now
going
we
to be
have-
wrong.
Now we have several.
That's not
I
the
have
thought you
I-
were thinking.
I have several thoughts.
You want to
which
go
one
home
am
and
I wrong about?
rethink your life. I don't think Bo's going to be the villain.
No, nor do I.
yeah.
I think they're going to have something where there will be it's going to be like a Cobra Kai situation is what I think is going to go down.
John Catan Kreese is coming.
Where they are going to have a difference of ideologies and they will butt heads.
Sure.
But they
Have to reunite Mandalore.
But eventually, yeah, they are going to see that they are the thing that will bring unity to it.
So
all
Din is
the other
Eagle
ones.
Fang and Bo-Katan is Miyagi-Do.
Yeah, or one of the flip it around, doesn't matter which one. But yeah,
Yeah.
they're one of the two. I think that's where they're headed with it, where it seems like they could be on the brink of like fighting amongst each other, but they're going to realize that ultimately that's not the key
There's
to
a
it.
greater threat. No, I completely agree. I mean, I appreciated the subtle nuance of lore.
Subtle. There's a lot.
Well, I mean, it was when it comes to Mandalorian lore, you could just.
Well, they didn't put on a
And,
40-minute YouTube
lore.
video.
No, that's what I'm saying. I thought it was really casually well done, but like the way that Bo looked at Din when he was in the water was just.
Like, I respect your commitment and tenacity.
I don't believe any of this, but also
There might be
Well-
something to this.
this is
Well,
a beautiful moment for
Yeah,
you.
I mean,
She washed away judgment in that moment.
and I think began to
Very
see a future that has otherwise the idea of a future for Mandalore felt extinct for her, and I think in Din she sees a future, and I'm really excited. I just keep wondering, have we not even met our big bad yet?
I'm not sure because what's cool about these two episodes together, I kind of feel like they could have. They're tonally and paced so different that I get why they're two separate episodes, but they could have premiered them both on the same day.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't because that would have been a lot of editing for me.
Thank you, Disney.
Glad they did it.
I did it just for Greg.
There you go. So when they do that shit, I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is gonna be a long night. But what's different already structurally is it doesn't feel like mission of the week that eventually becomes tethered together. But in the last few episodes, like how the first two seasons were, like this is immediately after the first episode, and it feels very serial. And even where this ends off, it feels very much like all the episodes are going to be way more connected.
Very focused.
Yeah, exactly. Where I really loved the structure of the first two seasons. I love the random, because it's like the missions are well justified. Like, well, I need to survive, so I need to take on some missions, and then how they come together. I think it's really cool. But to see these two back to back, it does put it in a different lens for how this can progress. And I really just want to say this: I think this is Katee Sackhoff's best work she's done thus far, as being live action Bo-Katan.
It's a tough character to adapt to live action. It was so. It was it's such I mean, Bo is such a in Clone Wars. you gotta chill with that, Greg.
She is a woman. You got a problem with that, Michael?
I'm trying to help you
Trying
out,
to say that
man.
there shouldn't be women
I'm
in
trying
Star
to say
Wars?
what I know you're thinking, not what I'm thinking.
I'm saying that she's a complicated character and has been from the first time that we saw her. I mean, first time we met Bo in Clone Wars, she was on the wrong side.
Yeah.
And I think has always been a very impulsive, quick to react character. And I appreciate that going back to Mandalore, facing her mistakes, we're seeing just a really interesting, nuanced character that is making for just like great storytelling.
Yeah.
Are you
No.
no?
Not at all.
Don't agree.
New
Do
question.
you think? But what if
It's not possible.
being on the rejects
You're
is
definitely,
really
definitely
hard?
reaching now, Michael. I was gonna say.
Ridiculous, Michael. All right.
I mean, I feel like they were indicating to us throughout this episode that there are other survivors of a Mandalorian background who may have survived and may still be on Mandalore. Do you think that's a possibility? Do you
Yeah,
think there's
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, that was the whole point of what Bo-Katan was saying with like what else could have survived, and you do see that there's these other there were qualities about this that felt like the most obvious one to note is something like aliens, But also, this did have like when you call them, like the second you said Morlocks, I was like, that's exactly what I was thinking too. Was very much in like an H.G. Wells type of situation here.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen The Time Machine, watch the Guy Pearce one. That's a superior version.
That's the version. Orlando Jones and Jeremy Irons,
that's
boy.
That's the one to go with. But no, it did resonate in that regard, because like there is this gap in time that we just haven't seen of what happened here. So even though it's not a time travel episode, we have jumped forward with if you take the time with Clone Wars and Rebels. Anything to do with Mandalore, and then suddenly you just skip ahead, like, oh, it's all gone now. It's all destroyed.
Yeah.
It's the ruins. So there is a sense of like a time travel quality to it, only because of the fact that there is this chunk that we're missing. That eventually Kathleen Kennedy's gonna be like, produce that show. We got to see it now. We got to fill in all the gaps. I mean, all of it needs to be visual.
Nothing to the head canon.
Yeah.
If there's a millisecond that is unaccounted for in canon,
Webisode.
Make it a show. Make it a show or movie.
well,
Go
I,
for it.
I think that's what's kind of neat. Like,
Who's gonna play young Moff Gideon?
Ooh, that was a good question.
That's a
Hey.
great question.
Let's not go down this route.
No, I mean, I do agree that we will see that either in the form of flashbacks or in a future animated property.
Yeah, it's gonna be expensive.
No, yeah, I think animation's probably the right move for that. No, I mean that period between Rebels and now, like, yeah, things really hit the fan on Mandalore. I'm really interested to see if who's ever left,
Yeah.
are they okay? What's going on that we haven't seen them or heard from them, or do they even know the war is over? Like, I wonder if it's going to be
just
like
people
the
hiding out,
Japanese World War II soldiers that, like, in the 1970s they were like still trying to catch some of the guys on the island who didn't believe that they surrendered. Which would be really cool to see, like
Japanese
like
soldiers.
Fen Rao.
Yep.
Fen Rao from Rebels, who was one of the Mandalorian protectors, who was, friends with Bo. I just think it'd be really cool to see what happens to the Mandalorians who still think the fight's going on. And I feel like that could be an interesting. Yeah, Star Wars loves to pull from World War II.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of interesting aspects this can go down, but I do want to just appreciate like what the episode in and of itself did, because this was more. Because remember, last week, that premiere episode, I was saying that this feels like the most lighthearted and hopeful Mandalorian's ever been, and it's interesting to start off that way when I'm so used to it kind of being darker.
Yeah.
And then the second episode this is more the Mandalorian that I know and love. Because I really liked the last episode a lot, but this is more my cup of tea when it comes to the Mandalorian, and it was paced so well. It was filled with a lot of tension, and it had Life Day. I know Jon Favreau really loves that. He does. I don't know why he loves it so much.
Because the holiday special is the greatest Star Wars
Yes.
content that was ever created.
That
Is that-
Bunta boy.
Is that the same R5 droid from
I think
A New
so.
Hope?
It
It's
must
just,
be.
it's just been
Must be.
kicking around this
Uh,
long.
Yeah, I mean, and to think how different. That's the What If series I want to watch. What if R5 was picked instead of R2? We would have had a whole other series.
Yeah, it's
And
true.
it would never have been as popular.
Yeah, it would have just been Luke going to Tachi Station to pick up some power converters.
Yeah.
He actually gets
He
the
gets there.
converters.
But
That-
what does he do with them is the question.
But what'd you think of the set design, John?
I love the set design. I thought this did really nicely to. I've always thought The Mandalorian has looked really good in the way it realizes things, but we live in a world now where the volume, especially, is just a much more noticeable thing, and everybody is a little more aware that happens. And here, I found myself having this sort of the thought you want to have, where you're like, this doesn't look like the volume. This looks really
Tangible.
tangible. Yeah, and I love just getting to know these ruins and like kind of like you said, like it has all that stuff that you love from The Mandalorian, but this also kind of felt like it did progress the tone, the style, because you are just sort of drinking in the air, all of the air of this worn down, decimated space, and I loved the discovery of that, the fun that led to. You get these creatures and things like that. and even though there are a lot of desolate and rended planets that we visit in a show like this felt like a place with, even just seeing it here intimately in this one episode, it already has it feels like a character unto itself.
Yeah.
There's an architectural wonder still.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's one of my favorite parts of like the nuance of Mandalorian culture and lore is that like they're not just epic warriors, they're also artists. Like they're also architects. Like Sabine Wren's dad
Pretentious.
from Rebels, like when he's introduced, you're expecting to see this like great Mandalorian warrior, and it turns out he's just like an art nerd. And I think exploring
That's kind of what like the armor represents, though, too. I mean, everything about them is there is a traditional warrior artistic style to them.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why they made such wonderful rivals to the Jedi, because it mirrors that kind of the art of war and culture and like that samurai feeling of these different clans each have these symbols that represent them, and this ideology is ancient, and I think it's neat that what was Star Wars Legends is slowly becoming like, and I love even, for example, when they introduced the idea of the Mythosaur and kind of like gave us a little contextual background. I love that the Mandalorians' understanding of what happened is just as like questionable as our understanding of what happened, because it's legends for us too.
Yeah. And it's
and-
history through multiple lenses and perspectives.
Yeah, well, and I think it's kind of neat. It makes the characters a little bit like us. in that
Well,
regard.
they used to ride the Mythosaurs too after Conquest. So I'm thinking that if they can somehow pull that Mythosaur out and they could use it to fight whatever
Tame
big
it.
baddie. that
And
they-
not just Big Baddie, but think of the symbol of
Yeah. But I'm talking
because the dark
big
saber-
CGI fight scenes.
Well,
So-
because
Absolutely.
because canonically speaking, the helmet of Mandalore was the symbol, and then the dark saber was stolen by Clan Vizsla from the Jedi Temple, and then that became the symbol. And now the dark saber has like a lot of just bad vibes around it. Like it's the sword that killed.
Get like dark
like-
energy around.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that the dark saber would have dark energy around. But I feel like it would be really interesting to have, as you create the legend of this new Mandalore and this new leader, who I really feel Din Djarin is like especially the fact that they did make, canon and clear that he is from the Mandalore system. I thought that was really like coming from Concordia, as where he was from. I thought was a really nice, like, oh great, he's like actually Mandalorian and not like a foundling from somewhere totally random.
He's not a Randolorian.
Yeah, a Randolori.
Well, I mean, he still could have been the foundling who was raised there. No,
Well, no, you have me doubting myself,
he was
Greg.
really young.
And I spent a lot of time in therapy to get over that.
much doubt in you.
Good, mate. No, yeah.
Because the Mandalorian's like a nationality; it's not a race.
Well, it's kind of
religion.
like being
it's a
Jewish.
religion.
Actually,
It's like being Jewish. Yeah, I
no,
was
it's
gonna say.
exactly. Speaking as the Jew in the group, that's exactly what it is. It's both a race of people, but the interesting thing is the ancient Mandalorians. If we're going by like legends, if there was a race that was separate of humans, and humans ended up becoming the majority, but Mandalorian as a culture was something that was slowly adapted.
Yeah.
So the Mandalorian race is as an actual race went extinct. And if you believe in legends,
I do.
they come from Coruscant. No, you don't believe in legends, Greg?
That sounds like bullshit.
Yeah. Well,
It's a tall tale, Mike.
well, yeah, I'm just really, really excited to figure out what is the unifying event that will bring the Mandalorians back together. And we know, that at least by the time of the sequel trilogy, that Mandalorians are still around in the galaxy because they were one of the flags at Maz Kanata's palace.
Yeah, I remember that.
You don't remember that?
That's the only thing I remember about the sequel
I
trilogy
remember
is all those
watching the
flags.
trailer on the Real Rejects pausing and being like, "That's the Mandalorian flag." Sure hope I get to talk about that one day on the Real Rejects. And
Dude, it was just like you were here in the room for a second.
yeah, crazy.
No, I don't remember any of that.
Yeah, I know you don't love me getting too excited about the other Star Wars shows because you want to focus on the present and be here in this show. But I do really love the idea.
I hate it.
I know you hate it, but I do really love this idea of the person who gave Bo-Katan the Darksaber, Sabine Wren, who's a character from Rebels, is like definitively going to be a big part of the Ahsoka series, which will.
The Ahsoka series sounds like Rebels continued live action,
which
with a time jump, like
which I
that's what it
feel like
sounds
will have would be really useful for them to have an army of Mandalorians at their side.
Oh, definitely. No,
So-
the Ahsoka show I just view as live action Rebels. Like
Great.
That's what it sounds like to me whenever I hear about. Oh, that sounds like every character from Rebels is returning, basically.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
Sold. Yeah, I mean, I know Thrawn had who's one of my favorite Star Wars characters, loved Mandalorian culture, and found it really, really fascinating. So, yeah, I'm just excited to see how the dots connect. And the tone of this, like, this is obviously so different from Andor. And I feel like that was a big complaint that I saw from the last episode, is that Andor kind of changed the game of what we expected as Star Wars content. But like Andor is this like great World War II spy thriller. This is like Lord of the Rings of
Yeah.
Sure.
and it's interesting, like existing within the same universe, but having these like wildly different genres that exist within that, franchise.
Well, I feel like that's something that could be happening. We'll see as the season unfolds. But I don't expect this show to become Andor or have that level of concern with what its allegory is doing necessarily. But I do feel like, especially seeing this season take a shape that feels a little more directly serial, as you pointed out, could lend itself. And they're also like, they're back on Mandalore. They're confronting directly the culture, the religion, etc. And I feel like you could unpack that over the course of this, especially as the more they bring this place back, the more legitimacy, the more dispelling of all the myths and things like that. The more people are going to be eyeing it, and the more conflicts are going to arise, and the more the sectarian debacle that partly ripped this place apart is going to come back into the fray. So I feel like you can get that, but at the same time, I don't expect this to just go full Andor, and I don't think it should, because this should be a bit of a swashbuckling adventure. But yeah, this feels like something. I love the way this ended too, because this ends in a very definitive, like, no, we're going to continue this next time. This isn't over by a long shot. And that's exciting in and of itself, and as a bonding experience for these two very different points on a plane, these two poles, as Din and Bo, are sort of forced into this situation together. I think there are a lot of interesting opportunities for subtext, that can still be fun.
I think we're just going to go to Tatooine and follow Jawas next week.
Let's do it. Just Pele, do a bottle episode with just Pele and the Jawas.
This all seems like it's about them realizing the grays in their belief system, that Bo-Katan's really was constantly like, you are so wrong about everything, and then Djarin's like, my creed is what it's all about, and then he shows them, he's like, oh shit, this place isn't actually cursed, and then she's seeing his commitment to this baptism, and then as she's rising, I don't know why the Mythosaur just was like, you're coming down here. All right, you can leave now. But the Mythosaur beast, even her seeing that, is like, wait a minute, there must be some truth to these things I've always called fairy tales. You know? And so what we're gonna see here is, it sounds like we're headed towards a union.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for that. But for a union to happen, you do need some type of thing.
And that's what's so wonderful about Star Wars as a whole has always been so definitively good and evil. And I feel like Mandalorians in so many ways represent us and like the real world, and the fact that like at some point, you have to like, not to throw out your Enlightenment era philosophy or anything, but like, I may not agree with a single word you say, but I'll defend to the death your right to say it. and this idea of like coming together a la Voltaire and figuring out how do we coexist and recognize that like whatever we are and its many facets is more important to keep together than it is to just have our individual sentiment
Yeah.
be kept alive. So it's exciting.
Well, I think when Djarin's people are riding the bus, they should be in the back.
Yeah. They are not pure Mandalorians, and they should be treated as such.
Yeah. I think that's how you do it. That way you can coexist.
This is the way.
That is not the way.
It is the
This
way.
is the way.
Get on. Come on, dude.
Yeah.
We outnumber you. So
Wow.
So get
Things
packing, buddy.
you shouldn't say to the nice Jewish boy in the corner. No, it's
We view you like an equal. That's what we're willing to say to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other nice Jewish boy, we would not be talking this way.
Yeah.
well,
You're different
I
than the other Jewish boys.
You're one of the good ones.
You're one of the cool Jewish boys, Michael.
How deep can we dig this hole?
right into the mines of Mandalore.
To the living waters.
The living waters.
We should wrap
Intolerance.
this up. It's all obviously also going towards Grogu becoming the ultimate Mandalore.
Sure.
About time we say that.
But will his helmet have ear holes?
Yes.
Well, that is kind of the final. If the Mandalorians can get over their differences between each other, Grogu represents that ultimate bridging of the gap between the Jedi and the
It's a
Mandalorians.
new start. It's a fresh start.
Yeah.
Until the next Mandalorian Civil War.
Yeah.
20 years later.
When there's too many Mandalorians out of control, all these emotions.
I mean, when violence is an integral cornerstone of your religion, I feel like conflict is ensured.
Well,
Yeah.
a lack of violence is a sin, which does breed a little bit of chaos.
Sure.
So,
Well, what are you going to do? All righty, guys. Well, what did you think about this episode of The Mandalorian? Leave your thoughts down below. Be sure to subscribe, leave a like, follow Michael, who is our Neil deGrasse Tyson of the Star Wars world.
Right, man. Big shoes to fill.
And
very big shoes.
Hey.
Yeah, and who do you think anybody is alive? And if so, who? What are they doing? Are they okay? I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'll respond.
let's do a Michael, since you love to talk, can you shout out Pandemic Jones?
Pandemic Jones! Congratulations, you are the patron of the day. Thank you for your support, your love, and especially your money. No, we are so grateful.
Can you make it really personal, though?
Oh, yeah.
I don't want it to just sound like, like some general,
Oh, you want to make it personal?
general thing.
Hey, Pandemic, I know you've been going through a lot lately. With the government being like, you're over. But sure, you're not over to me, Pandemic. Pandemic, when I go to sleep at night, I often think about, I wonder what Greg's editing right now. And I know when Greg's editing, what he's really thinking about is, thank God for Pandemic Jones. That guy is single-handedly keeping this channel going. He is. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, since Greg doesn't have one anymore,
No.
thank you.
It's on the front of the bus.
No, seriously. Like, Jesus Christ. No, seriously, it's really easy to forget that the real rejects are real people. And, Greg is a great guy. John is a guy. No, John is also
fair.
a great guy.
Fair enough.
And I know that they, as human beings, view you as their equal, which, speaking from experience, is surprising and unusual for them. So
I view you higher than me. I look up to you, Pandemic Jones. I'm nothing.
You did it.
I did it. Do we have to do the letter thing? P
No.
for
No.
people
That's
pleasing.
only if you're new.
And only do Star Wars references when it happens now.
P for
Paz Vizsla.
yes, the big Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was
who-
here last week.
Yeah, who ate lots of
Padme.
Padme.
Padme, sure.
I was gonna go for the Pantoians, the blue.
Yes,
What were
you
the
know Star
creatures-
Wars. I get it.
The
Michael.
A could be the creatures from this episode whose name now eludes me. The
How do you spell
Auxiliary.
pandemic? N is for
Yeah, okay.
Naboo, and one star. Okay.
Okay, everyone, stop talking.
D is for
Yeah, let's.
Dantooine, the rebel base is
This is
hidden.
done. Bye.